everyone, my name is Sydney and today I'm going to be discussing Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, and oh my god, this book has been a long time coming. I've been putting off this book for the longest time because this book is basically revolving around the character of Cal, and from the other books before this book, Cal has been one of my least favourite characters. I wasn't really looking forward to this book. And when I started reading it, I think at the beginning of this year, I actually couldn't really get into it. So I put it down, read many other books, and then picked it up again. And I finally got into it. And for me, the first half was fantastic. I read it really quickly. I think in a day I read 200 pages. But when we got to the second section in this book, and I think it was maybe till around page 500, I'm gonna be honest, I was really bored and it was really hard to push through. So this is the sixth book in the Throne of Glass series, if you don't count the Assassin's Blade. But this book, it happens at the same time as Empire of Storms. I would definitely recommend reading Empire of Storms as well as the Assassin's Blade before you go into this book. There's a character from the Assassin's Blade which is in this book, and their character in this book was one of my favorites. So you really need to read those two books before you go into this. To give you a bit of a rundown as to what happens in this book, the plot revolves around Cal, and Cal from the waist down, he has been paralyzed due to what happened in the book before, but I don't want to spoil what that was. And so he goes to the Torii Towers to be healed, but also to get the royals on his side when they go to war. Shit will go down in the last book, which is the next book, and I'm so excited. I am ready to have the characters that I love deeply from the other books, because these aren't my favorite, and I'm still not in love with Cal. I mean, there was a bit more respect for him, but the second part, it kind of died for me because I got really bored. I'm going to go into the spoilery section of the video, so if you have not read this book, please go read it, come back and we can talk. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. So, Yrene Towers. I loved her story in the Assassin's Blade, so I was so happy that we got so much more of her in this book. And I remember reading her story thinking, she is totally going to be on their side. She's going to come back, something's going to happen there. And so I completely loved the development of her character, and I really loved the relationship between her and Cal, how that formed. It was really beautiful. One thing I didn't really like about it was the fact that Cal was still in a relationship with Nesrin when they did kiss, and also when they had sex. So for me, I am really like sensitive in the area of relationships, where if I am with someone and they kiss another person or they are with someone else, I am totally not down for that. When they did first kiss, I wanted to be really happy for them, and I was, but I was also like, fuck, he has not broken it off with Nesrin yet, and for me, I hate when people do that because it's such a disrespect to their partner. But yeah, I really love the development of their relationship. Also, I really like Nesrin and Sartak. I really liked their relationship. It was really nice. I personally think that Sartak is a little bit boring. Like his, I don't know, his overall charisma or his overall personality is a little bit like, yeah, for me anyway. But I did really like them together, and I was really happy that Nesrin was able to find someone else that's not Cal and to move on from Cal in a beautiful way. But with the whole thing that went down with the spiders, I can't say the name, the big term of what the spiders are called, the Karankwai, or I don't freaking know. But those, you know what I'm talking about anyway. They thought they were gonna die, and Sartak basically confessed that he loves her. Oh my god, that little scene was beautiful. But here's the thing with me. I love to have the plot be completely unpredictable. And I like when death happens. I like when, it's really weird, I like when our favourite characters die or something tragic happens to them, because it's not predictable and it's, in a way, for me, it's more realistic. So for me, with this scene, I actually kind of wish that Sartak didn't survive, which sucks, but there would have been such a story that would have came out of that. Like, Nezran coming back and finding out that Cal is with Yrene now, and her having no one. Like, how that would feel. Like, the story would be completely different if that had happened. And that scene in its entirety would have had so much more meaning. The fact that he said, if only we had time. But in saying that, I'm really happy that they're together, and then we find out that Sartak is the heir, which is so beautiful. Another thing that, like, I understand why it happened, why it was there, but I also didn't think it was completely necessary. Like, I didn't really care about this little fact thing that happened in the end. Was Yrene and Cal, when they were on the boat, they were talking about how they got married, and there's that whole ordeal now that they are bonded together. With everything that happened, which was beautiful. And so what happens is, if Yrene is doing her magical healing powers on someone and she loses energy, that will also happen to Cal, but as a result of that energy dropping is the sensation he feels in his legs. It's going to be really interesting to see how that works on the battlefront. But what I'm trying to say is that bond already puts them together. They're already soulmates. They are destined to be together forever. I kind of found it unnecessary, just because we as the readers, we know that they're destined to be together and they love each other, and there's already that bond, and you know they're not going to break it because Cal actually loves her and Yrene has never found anyone like Cal before. So their relationship, you know, is strong. It was kind of like a moment of really setting in that they are together, to kind of make it a truer statement. I understand why it was there, but for me personally, I didn't need that, because we know that they're like Rowan and Aileen. They are destined to be together, and everyone knows they're together forever. So, I don't know, I just found it a little bit like, oh, you threw that in there, why? We didn't really need that. But also it's fine. So, we met a healer called Haviza. I think she's beautiful. I really, from the beginning when we had met her, I found her really nurturing and loving already, and I couldn't look at her as a villain or see her becoming a villain as the book went on. The other H in this story, Hussar, one of the royals, was freaking annoying, but I really loved the moment where Yrene pushed her into the pool. A character that I wish we had more on was one of the royals, Cashin. I felt so sorry for him the entire time, because you know that he likes Yrene, but Yrene is completely friend-zoning him or staying away from him real far. But I really liked him and I wanted to know more about him. So for me, I wish there was more of a development with his character, because he seems really lovely. Also, with the whole thing about Duva, I didn't suspect her at all. I didn't think it would be her because she's pregnant. So I just didn't think about it, and her name hardly came up, so I just didn't focus on her, or I forgot about her. The cover of this book is really nice. There's an owl on the cover, and whilst reading this, I was trying to make a meaning towards why there's an owl, like what does that mean? And throughout the Torre, there are owls, so there are owl statues and stuff, and they look like they're watching all the time, and I really thought that was really cool and very like, ooh. As we find out later on that Maeve is the Queen of Valg and not the Queen of Fae, which, when I was reading the other books, I was so like, she's the Queen of Fae, why would she not be on Aileen's side? This just makes sense why she wouldn't be on her side. So anyway, that covers that up. There was a part in here near the end where they talked about how Maeve has a pet owl. And apparently her pet, which follows her everywhere, must be the fey form of a healer. Some healer of hers that she keeps close as a bodyguard. I thought that was really cool because I don't know if this is just me, but I do not remember her having an owl around at all. So I was very confused with that. But also, that's really cool and makes quite a lot of sense. Another thing that confuses me, and this was mentioned in Christine's book talk, which I would like to reiterate and say as well in my book talk, is that Rowan was servant to Maeve, you know, for a long time. And Christine, she mentioned, how did he not know that she was the Queen of Valg? How did that not ever come up? How did he never find that out? And this is interesting because if he was around her, how would he not know? Did she silence him somehow if he ever found something out? Or did he really not have any idea? That would be interesting if that's somewhat cleared up in the next book. Yrene, she holds that note in her pocket. The whole moment where Cal gave her a necklace and he said he made it just so she could put the note inside, perfectly fits. And then at the end when she shows Cal the note and Cal cries, I know that handwriting. For wherever you need to go and then some, the world needs more healers. Keep it a while longer, he said softly. I think there's someone who will want to see that. So, I have a theory. In this book, they talked about how, very subtly, the king, Dorian's father, was seeing a healer. And I think this healer was Yrene's mother. I have a feeling, let me know also if I'm completely wrong here, but I have a theory that Yrene and Dorian are siblings. Is there some connection there, or am I just completely wrong here? For me, I really enjoyed the first part of this book. I was super into what was happening with Yrene and Cal. The second part, I don't know, I didn't feel as, wow, that was amazing. I think this book has been hyped up majorly. I was expecting so much more at the end. Obviously, there are things that come up that we need to know for the last book. I was expecting a massive cliffhanger. There was never that, yeah. For me anyway. For me anyway, there was never that emotion. So I was a little bit let down, and this book is big, so I was hoping that there would be something big. I fucking love Manon. She is my favorite, ultimate favorite character, and I miss her and I want her back, and I'm ready to see her and her grandmother fucking have their war against each other and for Manon to win. I'm ready. I need that. I need that. So anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this book talk, and I hope you enjoyed Tower of Dawn if you did read it. I hope that you still have your glitter intact on your books, because mine, it's so sad. It looks like of worn now because they're faded so badly. Please let me know your theories. But yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys in my next video as usual. Bye!